Donny here in the Soul Fitness kitchen, and he's going to be cooking smoked chicken quesadillas with Calabacitas and Flag Garnish. And this menu or the recipe that we're posting serves 4, but he's going to be cooking just a little bit more for us. And I want him to tell you what a calabacita is first.
Calabacita is squash in Spanish. And the Flag Garnish, just as an explanation, is a garnish that's made up of several different things. It's very tasty. That is in the color of the Mexican flag, red, green, and white, or red, white, and green. So, welcome. I'm Donny Jacob, and this is coming live to you from the Soul Fitness kitchen as we get to put together some tasty plates that are keto friendly and that kind of fit into the whole idea and example of what Soul Fitness is all about. So,
before you go into that, can you tell us a little bit about your history? Because you were talking,
yes.
Donny was speaking about it earlier, and I was a little bit fascinated with it.
I'm a native Tucsonan, born and raised here in Tucson. My family came to Tucson in 1919. I went to South Point, the University of Arizona, and went into the restaurant business. Early, as a young boy, I had a twin brother, and we were pretty much like Ricochet Rabbit times 2. So my dad figured it out real quick. Here's a broom for you, and here's a broom for you, and go sweep the parking lot. So that's pretty much where my restaurant experience started. And I went through college and thought I was going to go to law school. And at that time, my dad and my uncle had a falling out, and my dad bought El Parador, which was on Broadway, just west of Country Club. We had a lot of live salsa music and a lot of really interesting times. We turned the restaurant into Little Havana. Anyway, we closed the restaurant in 2013, and I leased the kitchen at the Tucson Shrine Center and went into the catering business with my sister and my late twin brother. And up until COVID, everything was hunky-dory. And now we're still making salsa and waiting for business to come back. And today I get to be helpful in making some great food. So we are.
Can you tell them how much salsa you made yesterday? I was amazed by this. Listen to this.
Was it 150 gallons, I believe?
150 gallons. Think at the park, you got a big trash can. That's a 55-gallon drum.
Yeah.
And he almost made 3 of those.
But salsa is a very good thing. It's heart healthy. It's 98% fat free. It's cholesterol free. It's good for you, and it has a great flavor profile. And you can use it for a lot of things. You can use it cooking in the kitchen as a condiment, when you're making eggs in the morning on top of your salad, if you want to put it with beans or rice or anything that you make. Salsa is a great accompaniment. It's the #1 condiment in the kitchen over and above ketchup. And it's really good for you. So today we are cooking smoked chicken enchilada casserole. But the first thing we're going to make is our Flag Garnish. Oh, wait a second. We have to stop. We have to talk about this. We're doing a little sharpening of the knife. For those of you that are at home, like to follow along and dice and chop, just a little something to remember when you're cutting. Always remember to keep your eyes on the knife. The minute that you take your eyes off the knife, lay the knife down. And I promise me, you will save a lot of these things right here. You'll save nicking, cutting, all kinds of stuff.
Do you want to keep your fingers, Matt?
So, the thing to do is always remember, when you take your eyes off the knife, stop chopping. Besides, the #1 rule in Soul Fitness is safety. And the #1 rule in the Soul Fitness kitchen is safety. That's our safety tip for the day. So the first thing we're making is Flag Garnish. Red onion, white onion, red bell, green bell, and some of the best stuff ever, cilantro. You know those guys in Italy, they got it basil. And down south, we got cilantro. So the first thing we're going to do here is get these onions chopped up. For those of you following along, don't hesitate.
Well, he's chopping. By the way, this is my lovely daughter. Her name's McKenna. And she's over here catching up on some food before she does a power nap before her track meet tonight. Ain't that right, Matt?
Yes, sir. Hi, guys.
So, Mac, what do you run?
4x1, 4x4, 300 hurdles. Oop. And today I'm running 100 hurdles to get speed working because it's a JV meet and it is considered conditioning for us.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wish I could be so lucky to do that.
She's pretty
You do
fast.
in class. What do you mean?
By the way, Donny does Soul Fitness. He's at our Reed Park location. Why don't you go over there and introduce yourself?
Sure. We
Allie?
got some Reed Park people watching right now too. Donny, say hi to the team.
Hey guys, see you tonight.
So when we're done here, done eating, we're gonna go kick Donny's butt in class. But
I asked her what we were doing, and you know what she told me? Pound sand.
Oh,
he doesn't get to know early. Come on, just because you're making me food doesn't mean you get to know.
Well, it's a nice trade-off, isn't it?
That is very true. But Donny, you've been doing great in class. We love having you. You have awesome energy. You've coined your signature saying. You want to tell everyone what it is?
Coach, this is brutal.
It's not a signature Reed Park class without us hearing it. That was brutal, Coach Chin. We're gonna make a T-shirt with you on it, but that says that.
Well, I'll tell you, I've really enjoyed Soul Fitness, mostly for the accountability and mostly for the friends that I've made, but also for the fact that I get to exercise 3 times a week, and it really makes me feel bad when I don't exercise.
You've been pretty consistent too. I think you've hit your 12 classes pretty much every month.
Pretty much, except one time last month, and I got one more makeup this month.
Okay. And when are you gonna get that makeup in, Donny?
I don't know yet.
I'm going to turn this around so I can show you what's going on a little bit more.
Well, we're gonna figure it out. Donny likes to do his makeups on our Saturday class sometimes at Brandon Fenton. So that's a lot of fun when those classes mix up together and we get to have a good time and hang out with other people from other classes too. So we have a good time, right, Donny?
We do.
And
We
on
really
Fridays
enjoy it.
at Reed Park, sometimes people get a little bit too rowdy, and I gotta bring them in.
Coach keeps us in line.
Most times. Sometimes I play along with you, but I do my best.
We have a lot of fun, and that's what it's all about.
That's right. Awesome energy. Everyone's a great company.
Can you tell us what's inside of this, Coach? Or I'm going to ask the coach. He is coach. Donny is coach right now. I already assumed the guy in charge is the coach, so he's our chef coach today.
You're talking about what's inside the Flag Garnish?
Yeah, let's start with that. What do you got?
Red bell pepper
Okay.
and green bell pepper, red onion and white onion.
Where's the white onion?
I already chopped
Oh,
it
it's
up.
he already chopped it up. It's in there. Okay. And that makes up the flag garnish.
That makes up with the cilantro.
Okay. And
And the
this.
very interesting thing about this Flag Garnish is when you take this combination of food products and you mix it up, it is incredibly flavorful. It is, man, it adds so much to so many things. And it goes great as a topper, like, you get done making rice and you put a plate of rice out and you put some Flag Garnish on top. Or you do beans or you do some scrambled eggs. I mean, so many things you can use Flag Garnish with. It goes great on salad, it goes great with all kinds of stuff.
So what else do we have in your yummy goodness, Donny?
Well, after that, we're going to make the Calabacitas, which is also healthy and good for you. And at the same time, it's easy to make. It just takes a little bit of saute in the saute pan, and then we're good to go. Okay.
Do is we're gonna post this so you guys can get all the ingredients and you can understand actually how to make it. And it has all the different sizes of stuff and explanations inside. So I'm not gonna pause too long on that because you'll see it when we post it. I'd rather have my eyes on Donny, see what he's doing here as he's cutting up a green pepper.
To do, which is going to be the cilantro, and then we're ready to rock and roll. Okay, we're going to use half of the cilantro because we're going to save the other half.
Hi, Zoe. And that's Gertie. And
Like
we-
cilantro, Randy?
Yes, sir, I do.
This pungent spice, guys, or herb, I should say, is so versatile in the kitchen and it adds so much flavor that you almost don't want to not put it in most of the stuff because we're going to save the other half.
Hi, Zoe. And that's Gertie. And
Like
we-
cilantro, Randy?
Yes, sir, I do.
This pungent spice, guys, or herb, I should say, is so versatile in the kitchen and adds so much flavor that you almost don't want to not put it in most of the stuff. I mean, it wouldn't go good in the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, but pretty
I
much
don't know.
everything else.
I would eat anything with peanut butter in it.
I know. You need both. Okay. Real quick clean up here. We're going to take this. We're going to do a little mixing.
How do I get people in touch with you, Donny,
Well,
if they want your services?
my phone number. I can leave you all the information that you need.
All right, we're gonna be posting Donny's information in case you guys need a personal chef, and or if are you selling salsa, of course,
Of course.
of course. And if you need any of the good homemade stuff, I won't tell my mom, but my mom likes to make her own salsa. But I bet she would love some of your salsa.
We make a salsa that is very flavorful, or in Spanish they would say sabrosa, which is very flavorful. And we make it with a little bit of a bite. We're not
My mom loves to
We're
bite.
not the hot crunchies. You know, if all you want is hot, take a blowtorch, stick it in your mouth, and turn it on. 'Cause that's all you're going to taste. And we're going to bring up our squash.
Squirrel said hi.
Zucchini.
Donny.
Squirrel says hi.
Squirrel says hi.
Squirrely, what's up, girl? Everybody loves Squirrely. She's a character.
Melissa's on there. We got Carla, Susan. Hi, guys. We got Myra on there.
Hi, Myra.
And we got Kim. Say hi to Kim.
Hi, Kim.
We
We're
got
going
a
to
bunch of people on there.
cut
Mark. Hi, Mark.
squash.
You know the thing about when I always visit my mom and my grandparents in Sierra Vista, they'd make all the Mexican food, but I wouldn't remember all the names of it. So if I went to a restaurant and tried to buy the food, I wouldn't know what it was called all the way. I mean, enchiladas, we get that. We understand tacos or tostadas, but there's a lot of different Mexican food out there.
Well, when you think about it, Mexico is bordered by water on both sides. So there's plenty of great seafood, and there's plenty of great accents from each and all the different states of Mexico. So Arizona, Tucson's biggest influence is from the state of Sonora. That's why they call it Sonora style Mexican food.
Let me get a little history lesson here.
I did not know that.
Are you from, you said you're from Tucson, Donny?
Born and raised,
Born and raised.
local Yoko.
Any of your relatives come from Mexico?
Nope, everybody, actually, to be honest with you, this is what's funny. Both sides of the family are from Lebanon. So I am your
There you go.
terrorist, towel head, and goat herder, all mixed up in the same thing.
And you got your little towel on your shoulder there.
I do, and I've got Trenzam and Camel parked out back.
All right, right on.
Okay, in goes some squash. Now, as Randy said in the beginning, we're making a little bit more than the portion that we have on the sheet. But if you follow the sheet, you got to remember that this will make plenty of food for 4 people, 4 servings for everybody. And
We'll
with that,
post
we're
the
going to
recipe
add.
for you guys.
And by the way, we substituted a couple of things, so you know. We substituted, in place of corn, for the keto-friendly aspect, we substituted the 14 ounces of yellow bell pepper.
So we brought in the yellow bell pepper because we do a ketonic diet and we don't want to have too many carbs in the recipe. So instead of that, we're going to go ahead and use that yellow bell pepper in substitution of corn. What we want to do is we want to go with a lower carbohydrate lifestyle because what that does, it helps us keep our blood sugar low. And by keeping our blood sugar low, it keeps us in fat burning mode. And also what we do is we like to have people do some intermittent fasting as well. And by doing intermittent fasting, this process called autophagy happens, and that's a fancy word for what the body does, it's cleanup. It takes out the garbage. A lot of times, the SAD, standard American diet, a lot of people they're always eating. They're taught to eat 3 big meals a day and snack in between, and that speeds up their metabolism. Well, will that speed up the metabolism in the beginning. It does speed up the metabolism and keeps the body growing all the time. But when the body's growing all the time, it doesn't have time to take out the garbage. And sometimes IGF-1 is a little bit too high, and that's insulin growth factor. And when our insulin growth factor is a little too high, it puts us in a 4 to 5-fold chance of getting cancer. And what we don't want to do is get cancer. And by also doing a lower carbohydrate lifestyle, we can actually we can avoid diabetes. And over 50% of America is actually pre-diabetic or diabetic and obese. And that's because of the standard American diet, which tells everybody they can't have any oils and that they should have lots of carbohydrates. And a moderate amount of protein seems to be the standard on most of the diets, unless you're a vegan, of course, and it's hard to really get that much protein. But we want to teach a lower carbohydrate lifestyle because we're thinking of not just lifespan, how long you live, we're thinking of health span. So when we get older, we want the quality of our life to be good. You know, we don't want to have these complications because you're going to die of a few things. Generally, the big three is heart disease, Alzheimer's, or cancer, generally. And basically, a lot of those things grow with high blood sugar. And when we have high blood sugar, the underlying factor is generally diabetes. And a lot of people, I was pre-diabetic at one time with 6-pack abs and didn't even really know it. And it was because of my carbohydrate lifestyle. I was eating a very low-fat diet and a lot of different carbohydrates, and not always healthy all the time, but for the most part, not so bad. And then there was some time where it was a little bit crappy. But either way, when you're eating a high amount of carbohydrates and you're always eating all the time, your body doesn't have enough time to clean itself up. And that's why we were talking about, I was mentioning intermittent fasting. And by doing intermittent fasting, you close your feeding window, which means you don't eat breakfast a lot of times. Or if you eat breakfast, you shut down your eating earlier in the day to make your feeding window where you start consuming food. We like to talk about 16-8. So you have 16 hours of fasting, 8 hours of eating. And then you can eventually get that up to 18 hours of fasting with 6 hours of eating. And by keeping your feeding window nice and small, all that time you're not eating, up until that time before you eat, the body has the chance to do that autophagy, which means it cleans out the body and it puts pressure on the body, because fasting is a stress on the body. And we actually, it's a intentional stress, because stress in certain amounts of doses for the human body is actually really good for us, and that's how we actually respond. So I'll kind of close with this and I'll turn it back to Donny here in a minute. So by intermittent fasting for that many hours, what it does, it puts pressure on the body and on the weak cells. And these cells are called senescent cells. And what they do is they kill the cell, and that's called apoptosis, and that means cell death. All that English means is that if we don't always eat all the time, the body has time to do what it needs to do by taking out the bad cells and also eating older skin as well. So I'm going to turn it back to Donny here.
So what I did is I went and got a rotisserie chicken. And the great thing about rotisserie chickens are, when you get them, they're warm, and when you peel them, it's easy to peel. Then you cut up the meat a little bit, and the next thing we're going to do is add a little bit of this liquid smoke. Ladies and gentlemen, you got to be real careful when you use liquid smoke. And you have to make sure that you do a little bit of tasting as you move along. So,
You do your thing, I'll move around.
you know what? I was wanting to know if maybe I could get a small spoon.
Small spoon?
Yeah, if you tell me where it's at, I'll just turn around and get
Sure.
it.
In that drawer right there
Right here?
next to the fridge. Yep.
Perfect. Because if I, maybe I'll use it for it. Because if I pick with my fingers, I'm going to get in trouble. So, remember we talked about taking some of the flag garnish, which we're going to do. We're going to add a little bit of this flag garnish
Look at how pretty that looks.
in. Then we're going to take this liquid smoke Another thing, guys, when you're cooking, anytime you add ingredients, you gotta taste. If you add seasonings, you gotta give it a minute and you gotta taste. Sometimes through the course of the cooking process, you may taste 5, 6, 7 different times, but you won't know. Now, everybody has their recipes. Some people like more salt, some people like less this, more of that. Even when you follow a recipe, you still gotta taste. So, I'm gonna take the liquid smoke, I'm gonna start out with like a half a teaspoon. Be very gentle.
That's why sometimes it's hard to nutrition coach chefs, because they're always tasting.
And it's a bad habit.
But that's
What you gotta do though. That smells so good.
My
I wanna
sister
smell.
catches me picking all the time. She
That
tells me,
smells
"How can you do that?"
That's
So
the
bad.
whole definition of BLTs right there. What's a BLT, Donnie?
You know
Lettuce
BL.
and tomato soup.
You know what it actually
What's
means
a
too.
BLTs, Donnie?
I can't think right now. You guys got me too frazzled.
Bites, licks, and tastes.
Oh, bites, licks, and tips. Yeah, okay, I'm all over.
Not the other BLT. That's a. Hey guys, that's a freaking chef where you just say, "Hey, what's a BLT?" He's like bacon, lettuce, tomato. Just like that.
Don't go anywhere. Go get yourself a fork.
Oh, okay. You don't have to tell me twice.
We're gonna add a little salt, a little pepper, and a little garlic.
Garlic.
Got it? Wait 1 second, boss.
Oh.
You can take a taste.
Oh, I get the taste.
Well, that's the whole idea.
He's gonna put the BLTs onto Randy instead.
Now,
See how it is.
one thing about when you're mixing the liquid smoke with your chicken is you
It
gotta
smells
mix,
so good all the
a
way from
lot.
over here.
and it's powerful. The liquid smoke is powerful.
Where did you get that, Donnie?
Safely.
Safeway? They have it at...
$2.49.
No way. They have it at all the grocery stores?
Taste, always.
All right.
Now look.
Now, there's a part, you know, Allie's jealous because she's not tasting it.
Shut up. I was just about to say that.
Mmm.
I may think it needs a little bit more smoke. Kind of depends.
And that's why the professionals.
The reason why I would say it needs a little bit more is because when you mix the chicken with the cheese and you have the tortilla, it's going to take away a little bit. So we're going to add one more little bunch right here, and then we're going to call it a day.
How much did you originally put on that?
2. So this was 3
3 of those guys.
of these little guys.
All right, I got
Half
you.
teaspoon.
And it smells so good.
You know
It
what?
does.
When you're doing ribs or you're doing a brisket, put your gloves on and take that.
They have mesquite flavored and stuff too? Or is it all
No,
hickory?
this is a hickory. I think it's a hickory. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's a hickory on there.
Okay. So the one last thing that I need to do that I didn't do was take the fresh garlic and add it here. So if you go by, get a couple of garlic bulbs.
Brianna?
I'll take a taste.
All right, get over there and try it.
That was clean. Okay, next thing we need to do is now start cooking the Calabacitas.
You want the pan on, Don?
Let's fire this up.
Ah, that's pretty good, isn't it?
EEOV, extra virgin olive oil. Once we get this going, it'll start cooking.
Garlic, that's all? Nothing else that's fancy?
Well, I add, and I brought it with me, and I didn't include it in our deal, and I don't know if that'll be a bummer or not, but it is a chicken base. But it is a not liquid, but it's a paste. It's really good. And one thing you want to remember is you don't want to add your tomatoes yet because, your tomatoes have juice. What you want to do is you want to let these vegetables sweat a little bit inside the pan. And by sweating, that means that they're going to cook, and then their natural juices will come out and keep everything moist. That's why you put a little bit of olive oil in the bottom. Oh, good. This better than
Bouillon?
bouillon is very, very good. It's rich, and it's, as you can see on the inside, it's not like one of those dry cubes. Okay?
I've never
We're gonna do that in a minute if you like.
Throw some in there.
I don't know how much you want in there, Donnie.
Perfect.
Perfect.
I don't want to be the too many chefs in the kitchen thing.
Too many chefs spoil the broth,
Yeah,
as they say.
that's how they say it. Here. So we're learning how to read things here. We have 3 grams of fat and we have 19 carbs. This is what we're really looking for when we're looking at a tortilla. So we have 19 grams of carbohydrates and we have 15 grams of fiber, no sugar. So you would take that 15 grams and subtract it from the 19 grams and you would get 4 net carbohydrates. But a lot of people, they don't realize that soluble fiber actually can count against our carbohydrates a little bit. So sometimes people have a hard time being in ketosis or staying in ketosis, and a lot of times they're hitting too much fiber and they're not counting some of their fiber against their carbohydrates. A lot of people don't know that.
So, take your tortilla, fold it over, make a little bit of a pressing right here, gives you an idea where half is. So we're going to take some of our chicken, spread it down here like this. Take our cheese. These babies are going to be so tasty, I'm telling you right now.
Now, if you were at home and you were being real anal about this, what you would be doing is you would be measuring some of these portions out.
Well, you know, with the size of the tortilla, I can almost tell you we're not going over 3 ounces. You know, plus, over the years of being in the restaurant business, eye-to-hand coordination really makes a difference. And you get an idea, you know, you can always overstack it, but I think we're pretty much right in line.
Okay, that's a good tip to know. And we also don't want to count the grain of rice that falls from the scale, but at the same time, we still don't want to let the devil creep into, because the devil's in the details.
The devil is always in the details.
Always in the details.
Man, this stuff smells good.
Yeah, that looks pretty good too.
You guys are gonna love these. And nothing chicken but the bacon.
And we've got the Calabacitas back there cooking,
They are.
and Donnie's up front doing
There's
the
a lot
prep.
of going on in the Calabacitas pit, guys.
A lot of stuff going down right
Right,
here. All right.
By the way, don't let anybody ever tell you that there's no such thing as cooking with love, because there is. And it makes all the difference in the world when your product goes on that table.
You ain't got to sell us on that. We also show the moisture.
This is just a mixture of the little bit of olive oil that we had, plus the vegetables and the moisture that's in the vegetables as they're sweating.
Smells so good.
Now, this is okay. What do you think?
Hot.
Well, that's really good. Ladies and gentlemen, hot.
Really good though.
What do you think, boss? More salt, more pepper?
Maybe a little bit more salt and pepper.
There's some Himalayan sea salt right to your right there, and
like that
a
salt.
little
Gotta get that.
ramekin there. There you go.
You just eat that right out of there.
Who was that guy that went, bam, bam? I can't remember his name.
Bam, bam.
Is he this guy?
Who did his spices like this? Emerald. That's who it was.
Ammo is a famous chef, or?
Yes, Emerald Agazi.
Oh, okay. Let's see what this looks like here. There you go. It's the Calabacitas.
Ooh.
So food is really good, and if you're learning how to do the food and do the right portions and the right sizes, we can learn to manipulate these, they're called macros, and macros is just a word for numbers, and we learn how many carbohydrates we should be eating and how much proteins and how much fats and the ratios in a day, so we can eat to live, not live to eat. I'm still working on that.
Yeah.
Freaking Zool.
Guys, maybe these carbo-
He's got one blue eye.
Oh, yeah.
See it?
They
They
do,
should.
but not.
My little girl's probably sleeping right now, but she'll love some of this later for sure. Fancy, Donnie, fancy.
Okay, guys, Calabacitas, and hey, we did it. And now the taste test comes. We'll let the big guy, Randy, tell you how he likes it later. But thank you for cooking with us from the Soul Food Kitchen live.
Yes.
We had a great time, and we'd love to do it again.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you, and God bless.
Thank you very much for your time.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Thank you.
Again, I want you to tell everybody how to find you, Don. Do you do cooking stuff too besides
All kinds
salsa?
of stuff. Oh yeah.
You do it all? Okay, can
Catered
you
all kinds of parties, from 1,400 to 3,000 to 900. We've done everything over the course of 40 some years. Praise the dear Lord, we've touched a lot of people. So, yeah, whatever you need. 10 people, 5 people, 50 people, 100 people. It's no problem at all.
over 40 years of experience right here. We got Donnie and the name of your business one more
EP
time.
Salsa and Catering.
All right.
But this is about soul fitness today, so thank you very much for joining us today.
Thanks, Donnie. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. Thank you, Donnie, for your time.
My pleasure.
I appreciate it. Take care, everybody. Peace.